Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Talking Horses. Paul Verderosa joining me, Andy Serling, as this is our last week before we head up to Saratoga, and then we will return after Memorial Day on Friday, June 14th.
Yeah.
Does that sound right?
Yep, for 1 month.
For the last 4 weeks of racing up here before we head up to Saratoga for the meets. We have a Saratoga preview for the Belmont Stakes.
And a good preview it should be. Should be a lot of fun.
It's going to be great, but nice to be back here. You and I were down in our studio here. We were saying how, listen, you guys miss Belmont. We miss Belmont too.
We do.
Obviously this is because we're rebuilding. It's going to be incredible, and when it opens up, it'll all be worth it. But you and I were both reminiscing and saying this would be a nice day to be sitting outside the set at Belmont.
It's like we wait all year round for these gorgeous days. It's like, okay, you get to sit upstairs. It's nice, a little breeze.
We're gonna walk outside at Aqueduct.
Yeah, listen, it's the same feeling, but it's not the same feeling.
No, but it's Aqueduct, and we have a lot of love for Aqueduct, and we're going to fully appreciate it before we leave it forever. And it's going to be a sad moment I know for you and for me as well, because we both spent a lot of time here in our entire lives.
Yeah, I grew up 2 blocks from here.
When did you tell me it was the first track you ever went to?
Yes, 1995.
Oh my God.
95. Yeah.
74 was my first trip here. Your parents I probably hadn't even met yet.
That's a good. I don't think so. You know what? My parents got married in 79.
Okay.
So maybe not.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's wild. That's wild. But no, this is the first. I love it here. This is a great city track. This is just where you want to be. Yeah.
I agree. A track that takes an enormous amount of abuse by people who never go here.
You know what? There's a lot of fact to that too, especially when you see a lot of things or read a lot of things. A lot of people have a lot to say that don't come here, and I love racing fans top to bottom because they'll let you know where you're at, good or bad.
Yeah, well, we're racing fans.
But a lot of people that don't come to certain venues certainly have a lot to say.
Well, you hear the lies. Nobody goes there. No, people actually do come here.
It's busy.
It's accessible by the subway. Yeah. It's busy here. There are cold February days where it's busy, and it's and obviously our footprint now is much smaller. I mean, but I go back to the days when there were a lot of people here
on a daily basis,
the whole building.
I'm sure, that's the good days.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it all started when we put the races on television back in the mid-90s. That's when things really started to change.
It's funny too. I remember coming here in the mid-90s, and really they only showed maybe 2 tracks. You had a simulcast track. Well, you had California racing later in the day, but the program had 1 other track in it.
Oh, maybe. But not even. No, we didn't have 1 other track in '95. We didn't start full card simulcasting for a long time.
Yeah.
The rules back then were I think you were allowed to take like 13 extra races, so there weren't. No. 95 is when simulcasting started all around the country, but we didn't have full card simulcast with other tracks till at least a year or 2 later. Yeah. We would take Keeneland, but there were years when we had separate pool wagering, though we started commingling in the mid-90s. And Gulfstream.
Yeah, I remember Winters.
Yeah. But before that, I think we had some separate pool wagering. Wow. And I even remember back in the day, I remember the old New York City OTB, they would have separate pool wagering on Hialeah. Yeah. Hialeah's takeout was so onerous that it was better actually betting through New York City OTB on this. That's how onerous those takeouts were. But it was actually interesting looking at the big discrepancies in prices. Anyhow, we got a lot to talk about. Yeah. You need to head over to Naira Bets. If you're not a member of Naira Bets, special promotion leading up to Belmont, a free $25 Belmont bet along with a $200 sign-up bonus. Belmont25 is the promo code. Go to NairaBets.com. When you're at Naira Bets, you can check out track stats. I imagine we got that slate. There we go, track stats. Check them out for our man Matthew DeSantis, who was cranking it out. Doing a little, doing a Twitter Spaces or something on Twitter.
Yeah, I saw that.
Like 250 people on it for a Cinnabon.
Yeah, he's got his pulse on everything.
Matt has really been doing, in my opinion, Matt's doing a terrific job here. I mean, I like Matt a lot, but he's really working hard to promote things, and I appreciate that. It's nice to see.
Yeah.
What else do we have? $10 bonus, 50 each at Aqueduct. Oh, and select evening races.
Ooh.
Select. They're very select. $10, win or lose. We have middle pick 4. Races 2, 3, and 6 for the pick 4s on our 9-race card. I'm guessing we have a show. The Saturday contest. $300 buy-in. Do we not have a feeder contest today, guys? I have to look into that. Thought we had Friday feeder contest, but I know you have until the 3rd race tomorrow to sign up for that. Play it through Naira Bets. Head over to nairabets.com/contest. We're here to check it out. We may have a $40 feeder today. I don't have the slate, so I don't know for sure. what we show 1 to 5:30 today in FS2. Some of the crew is here. Case is up in Saratoga. Greg's out for a couple of days. I think everybody else is here in some respect. All right, Paul, race number uno. The first and fourth came off the turf.
Yeah.
I think it caught us a few of us by surprise. It's interesting that Wesley Ward left the 2 in here. And even though this is a son of Churchill, this horse has been working pretty quickly at Keeneland, and hard to imagine Wesley would leave this one in if he didn't think he'd handle the turf. And I have to admit, this horse, 2B, probably a little scary here.
Yeah, I know I left him out, and I probably should have moved him up higher just based on the fact that he's probably going to show some speed from out there based on the works, too, so that makes him dangerous, and it's Wesley as well. But like you, I was surprised, actually, that the horse stood in.
I'm impressed that Eric Cancell's back on Soon to Be King. I don't know what happened last time, but we're going to show the entire race of this horse's debut. George Weaver under suspension right now as he's dealing with an issue with Heisa, and Mitch Friedman takes over the train. This horse broke and had some speed, and he didn't really, and Eric sort of takes a hold. And I mean, this horse ended up, I think he stopped at Home Depot at one point.
Yeah,
did a little shopping and got back in the race, and he's just right there. You see he steadies out again. He falls even farther and farther back, and I actually bet him in this race, and he will put it in a significant run to actually run very credibly after that. Now he draws inside. You just have to hope he's maybe a little less green and more professional, but I am very much worried about Wesley Ward's horse staying in.
I mean, I put this horse on top like you. I bet him last time out, too. And I just wonder if when things got a little tight for him around other horses, if he just got a little skitterish in there and they backed out. But, I mean, when you look at this race, Phoebe in Wonderland was a Wesley Ward filly, and Out on Bail, they ran 1-2 around the track, and this was the only horse that made up any ground, considering he lost ground during the race. Yeah. So for me, I just felt with that race under his belt, now the race off the grass today.
I was going to bet this horse on the turf. This horse's pedigree for the turf.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully today breaks a little bit better and is a little bit better for that experience being surrounded by horses, and hopefully doesn't get a little skitterish in there. And I just want to give this horse a shot at probably what's going to be second or third choice.
I wouldn't be surprised if maybe the Cassie horses can run a little bit too. I mean, he left both of them in, and while there's a smidgen of turf pedigree, the Dam was a turf horse for Mr. Monoclonal. Yep. He's a Bernardini who's much more dirt in Classic Empire, so I thought they could be dangerous as well. And there's even a little bit of money right now for the number 5, Dancing Bear.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at this, I mean, there's
I would.
War Dancer doesn't really get that much with debut winners.
Carlos must love him.
Yeah. Right? I mean, when you look at Off the Bourbon too, the Dam, I mean, broke her maiden cheaply and maiden claim her on dirt. So there's a little bit of dirt there sprinting, but I don't know. It was a lot of a 3 for me and then kind of just using some backups.
It is kind of a Grateful Dead name, though, Dancing Bear.
Dancing Bear.
So, Dancing Bear. All right, we'll see what happens. But we did both pick the number 3, Soon to Be King, who just had a big trip in his debut. Race number 2. Race number 2. Go ahead.
I don't know if Maggie can run anymore, but I mean, isn't this the spot that we're going to find out for her? I mean, I know she's not a wet track horse or a mile horse, so I think the cutback today to 6.5 furlongs picks up Flavia Pratt today, and I don't know. I think today's probably the day we're going to find out if she's got. Well,
she's run figures as fast as on wet tracks as she has. For the most part, she's just been over her head.
Yeah.
And I agree. When she ran at this level, going a mile 2 back, that seemed weird. And she does get a rider to Flavia Pratt, which doesn't really help. I mean, it doesn't hurt. It's obviously good. I don't know. I almost picked her on top. I saw you have her on top. I'm not really in love with her. But I definitely think that today is the day she needs to show up. What do you have against Try It Again? I thought Try It Again, that going a mile last time was a mistake, and maybe it'll help her off a little bit of a freshening. I know she's not a winning type, but if she were to run back to her race 2 back, I thought she would be very, very hard to beat.
Her race 2 back puts her squarely in the mix. The mile, I agree with you. And it's not that I'm fully against her. It's 3 5s and 6s for me in here. I mean, 5, 6, 3 in the order I have it. I just wonder, though, if she really wants to win. You know, she just hasn't.
She's not a winning type, but she runs that race. She ran 2 back. I believe she's going to win this race. She survived a pace that fell apart, and the winner came from way, way back to get it done. And she ran the best race that day. That was a tough beat. As far as the 6 First Class Cat, who's the morning line favorite at 2-1, and appears right now to be co-favorite with the 3 and some doubles, I don't like this horse at all.
I have her second in here. I mean, she drops almost in half off that voided claim. She was supposed to win last time. She did anyway. The start 2 back was the one that I had a little bit of a question with because Dazzy came back on the inside. And I don't know if the track helped out there, but if she runs any numbers that she's run in her last 2 starts, I mean, isn't she just faster than these?
Well,
from
my
an
problem
outside run,
is
too?
that Lady Banker finished second. She came back and got drowned in a subsequent start to take time to dream the 4. And the 3rd place finisher, I'll read you her figs. She ran a 48, a 49, a 62 in here, and then a 35. I have some questions to whether or not I think those figs are going to be productive. Voided claim last time for a quarter, in for 14. I'm not a fan. This horse will beat me in here. I don't like her. I think Gab's Dream Girl is a little bit interesting. Looking at her at Gulfstream, and listen, she beat a very soft field last time out, but it was her first time running in a claiming race. I want to say I forgot to look it up to see if she's a private purchase or not since that last race. I forgot to look it up. I apologize. And she closed into a race where the speeds actually ran 4.32, so it didn't really fall apart. I don't know that this race doesn't give her a chance in here, switching up to Chris Englehart. She's a new face against a lot of faces that are a little bit tiresome.
And she went down to her nose, too, in that start and still managed to get the job done in here.
In her first dirt race.
Yeah, in her first dirt race, too. I know it's a small sample for Chris Englehart. 2 for 5, all 5 in the money, $4.02 ROI, with horses sprinting on the dirt, 120 to 150 day layoff, first off the trainer switch. Excuse me.
120 to 150, a
Yes.
30-day window.
Yes.
30-day window.
Yes. 30-day window. And
Wow.
1 win at Naira and 1 win at Finger Lakes. So, I mean, dangerous face in this group. I could
think
use
this
all of
horse
the
is-
4.
I think
that
this
have
horse
in
is
there.
a chance. I would
Yeah.
use this horse in here. I would let the 6 beat me. We see that's about the only strong difference we have in this race. You're not as thrilled with the 3 as I am, but I agree about the 5. Today's the day. We've got to show up today.
Yeah.
And I think
Yeah.
Pratt being on sort of catches your attention, but doesn't mean she's going to win. Race number 3 at 7 furlongs. St. Benedict's Prep. I was not here for the debacle last time. We'll take a look at the race at Keeneland 2 back. You're going to try to beat this horse. I am not. If this horse runs the race we're looking at now from Keeneland, this horse is going to win today's race. Why are you taking a shot against?
Very slight chance against her. And believe me, she is way the horse to beat here. And I picked her last time I was on the show, actually, when she dropped Kendrick.
She was
at the
1-2. A lot of people picked her.
Yeah. So, I mean, this race was just really good for her. It was very productive, too. I mean, it had 3 next out winners. And I know that this horse has a little bit of a problem changing leads sometimes. It really didn't matter. Ended up still winning a race despite being pushed outward a little bit, too. I love that this horse comes back off off losing the rider, and Linda keeps this horse at the same level today. This horse just figures in here. Should be a handful, too, in here. I'm just taking a little slight chance against this horse today. But make no doubt mistake.
Kendrick got dumped, and he doesn't keep them out.
You know, that's interesting. I did notice that, actually.
I'm with you on this, Kendrick.
Yeah, I don't know about that. And it's not like he's got anybody else in here. So.
No, he doesn't.
Yeah.
I'll be surprised if he wins. And the thing is, okay, here's Controlled Temper's last race. You've got her on top. I have her second. The difference for me is that I have her second by default. I don't like anybody else in this race. If we go to the April 11th race for Controlled Temper, please. She's beating 3-year-olds in here. I just thought this was kind of a softer field that she beat last time. But I didn't really like anybody else. That's why I have her second.
Might have been softer, but I thought she ran a really good race, though. I mean, she, got a little bit lucky, too, I think, considering.
Because?
Well, I think, Snapping Buttons was lugging in, but the logical horses were 1, 2, 3, and here if Snapping Buttons didn't, kind of lug in,
came back to improve her fig. The 3rd horse ran 3 points worse. 4th horse 5 points better. Listen, she improved for Joe Sharp. I just thought that she found the right bunch of 3-year-olds in her last race. And I'm not a huge fan of Iris Jackson, and she's going to take too much money because Irad is riding her. But on the other hand, I mean, I just think they're better horses than the ones she was running against.
No, yeah, I mean, for me, it was 6s and 3s for me.
For me, it's 3, and if somebody else wins, I'm going to lose. I think St. Benedict's Prep is going to be very tough in here. We'll see what happens. Race number 3, off the turf in race 4, and obviously what was a very difficult and competitive race turns into kind of a joke at this point.
Yeah.
We'll take a look at Just Music 2 back. I guess the question with Just Music is, are you uncomfortable at all with her trying to go 1.25 miles today? It's 1.25 miles, 10 furlongs on the main track. I don't know. I mean, she's not that good, to be honest with you. This is the biggest fig she ever ran. And otherwise, she's in the 60s. The problem is, I mean, you've picked against her, but the 4 for Tony Dutrow, she did run it in her debut in the slop, a 49. Jitterbug, who I have second and you have on top. I mean, she's only run on synthetic, and he went from synthetic to turf, so how much confidence does Christophe have? This horse is a dirt horse. And Wake Up Lauren, I guess, is the other horse, but she's, I mean, her last dirt race, Wake Up Lauren, she lost in that Princess Vino race, and Just Music absolutely drowned her in there by 7 lengths.
Yeah.
So she's going to be, I don't know, 1 or 2 to 5 in here, probably pay $260 if she wins. On the heels of 2 very short-priced Linda horses. You're trying to beat her, I am not.
I mean, she's just hard. Listen, if she's going to win, it's going to be today. I'm just taking a little.
I'm not a huge fan
yeah,
either, so I get it.
I just feel like, you know, she's had so many chances in the 1.25 miles, and I don't know. There's races she was supposed to win, she hasn't. And listen, with Jitterbug, for me, it's just simply looking at her pedigree and being a half to carve, and Sloan Avenue's done well at a distance over at Medan, and when you look at the dam, too, Apt ran one time on the dirt. I know it was only 6 furlongs, but put up a 72 buyer there. There's some routing.
She's a Claiborne horse, isn't she?
Shug McGahee trained her.
Well,
she was, yeah.
He trained a lot of horses from, remember that horse, Lore?
Lore, yeah. Very good, you know. A little bit. Just a little bit, right? So this is just a little shot for me against her going the 1.25 miles. I think this horse will be fine going the 1.25 miles, too, being out of a justified.
I'd want to have the 4 and 5 somewhere on my tickets in a back. You know, if I'm going to single Linda in the prior race, and, you know, go a little shorter in the second race, you know, I have no problem with using backup as near. I agree. The 9 may just go to the front and just nobody else can sort of run behind her, and she'll end up winning by 12 lengths, and you'll say, I can't believe I used somebody else. But I don't disagree with you. The 9 is going to be super short in here, and she's not that good.
Yeah, I mean, if you take away, like you said, the figure from 2 back, what else do you have to go on? I mean, maybe a 62 is good enough to win the race based on everybody.
Maybe some people that could have run maidens in here that would have been
possibly
more likely to win.
I'm wondering why Darkpool came out. Maybe Darkpool.
I thought Darkpool was very dangerous in here. I agree with you. Darkpool was a horse I was interested in, collected, who's actually been an effective dirt sire. I thought he might stay in as well. My friend Kirk Wyckoff, he's just chicken. The only thing that he really is gutsy about is taking on Stabile and miniature golf.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's true.
That was. I don't have too many great memories, and Anthony was here, he'd be blushing, but you know, we ran that mini golf charity event, which Anthony deserves a lot of credit, and we were able to raise a bunch of money, and Anthony deserves a lot of credit for that. And Kirk showed up with his own club, and Kirk got the 3 hole-in-ones to start it out. Anthony deflated. He was cooked.
Sandbagging with the own equipment. That's all right. You got to take advantages when you can.
It was great. It was a great moment. Great moments in Saratoga racing history. Race number 5. I actually toyed in here with picking a lot of horses.
Yeah.
I am not going to default, though, to the one that you have on top, Mucho Mamma Mia, who is going to be overbet with Irad. David has his horse 5-2. I kind of wonder if with Irad riding this horse, if people are just going to jump on her because they don't have any idea who else to play. And I feel like this horse is going to be way overbet. Got her second. I don't disagree. But, man, she ain't much, Paul.
No, she's not that good. My take on it, like you, I'm sure she's going to be 8-5 in here or something.
Doesn't she just feel like one of these Irad horses that's just going to get totally pounded?
Yeah.
Who may win.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
she's a tough horse to take at 7 or 8-5, isn't she?
Yeah, she is, and I know what I'm getting myself into. I just feel like she's dropping second off the layoff and getting back to a better distance, and had no shot last time out against those horses either.
No, it was a joke. Right?
I mean, so for me, this is the right drop for this horse. We'll see if this horse can run. I mean, unfortunately, I'm going to have to take like 7-5 or 8-5 on this
Probably,
horse.
and her one win was pretty soft bunch.
Yeah.
On the other hand, she's not exactly meeting tigers here.
No.
You know, I wanted to try to make a case to wire the field with leadership ability, but she's dropping a little bit. But I feel like Practical Miss is going to be right on her. And I don't know if leadership ability has any ability whatsoever anymore. And in other words, I looked at that you have third is Jay's Love. And we'll take a look at her win on March 2nd. And the only thing you can say about her is, I don't know where this race came from. She was bet for some strange reason. And it's almost like, oh, Joelle Rosario's picking up the mount. Joelle's going to get her home in here. And she improved dramatically from any race she ever ran before it and any race she ever ran after it. It's a complete aberration. You want to say, oh, it was the sloppy sealed track. Well, she ran a muddy track the race before it, and I know she ran fourth, but the figure was 30 points light. So is Joelle getting back? Does Joelle have the magic for Jay's love? Does Jay's love have Joelle's love? Love?
I wonder, because that day I did pick that horse on top, and I remember we did the show.
I picked the horse second. Yeah. I wasn't shocked.
Yeah, you were like,
what I was shocked about was the money the horse took.
Yes, took the money. It was almost like they knew.
The horse should have paid $12.
Yeah.
They knew this horse was going to win.
And I agree with you. It hasn't run anything since it. And, if you want to say it was the competition, okay, fine. But, I mean, the race before that, like you said, was a 26 buyer on an off track. So this is a much more realistic level for this horse.
Well, they're finally right. They're finally running her where she has any chance whatsoever. They ran her at
Joelle's getting back
spots.
on blinkers, go on today. I wonder if she'll be a little bit closer, but
I don't think she has any speed.
I don't think so either.
Joelle doesn't hustle slow horses into races.
I don't think so either. I agree with you there. I have her third. I was there when she won. Maybe she'll win again today with Joelle on. I don't know, but I kind of, like I said, I kind of sucked out here with Mucho Mamma Mia on top.
I took Lady Fortuna, and I know Lady Fortuna, the one good figure was a sloppy sealed track. That's a concern, but she ran a sloppy sealed track and ran poorly. She is dropping precipitously in here, and sort of like some others, she's taking a drop, and I'm not sure she's run that badly overall. I think that April 7th, she was 5 wide. She was wider on the track. That was a good big gold rail that day. So she was way against the track last time. She's dropping off an against the track trip. And I know David's got her at 3-1. Is she really going to be 3-1 in here? I wondered if the one would be bet heavy.
Yeah.
They're going to see Joelle and the Joelle Jay's love. So I took her. I thought she'd be a slightly better price than that. I didn't love her at 3-1, but I just took her. I thought she was kind of interesting.
Yeah, no, and I think Practical Miss will take a few dollars too. And you may get like 4 choices.
Slow,
yeah, she's not. Yeah, I mean, I have her second in here, but it was just like she didn't. The field she beat wasn't
beat
that
Teresa
good at all.
last time.
Yeah, it wasn't a good field.
No disrespect to all you Teresas out there, but I don't know. All right, that's the first 5. The late pick 4. The third of 3 will come up after a quick break to hear from our good friends at Saratoga Springwater. We'll be up there in just a few days.
For almost 150 years, the Saratoga name has been synonymous with the finest quality, sustainably sourced spring water available anywhere. Saratoga carries on the rich tradition of its forefathers by crafting each stunning blue glass bottle with the same attention to detail and care that has been its hallmark for generations. Visit SaratogaSpringwater.com today or ask for us by name at your local market or restaurant. Saratoga Spring Water. Make every day exquisite.
Welcome back to Talking Horses. Paul Verderosa and Andy Serling. Race number 6. It's first-time starters versus horses that have run. And Paul must have hit his head when he was handicapping this race, so I'm going to make fun of him about his pick here. But we will start with the 5 Geopolitics, who was a huge tip first time out. And it's also worth noting that Aunt Yola, who finished 4th in the year, and we'll go to the replay on her just after this, did run a Credo race running 4th, and I was disappointed with Geopolitics. Kind of horse should have won. Now, Peony's come back and run better in races. City Blocks is not the horse who won the race. This horse was supposed to win first time, was scratched after that race. I don't know if it was sick or they entered back too soon. I gave this horse another shot. I'm scared of the 7, the first-time starter we'll talk about in a bit. It costs a lot of money. There's a couple good magics in here. But at the end of the day, I went to this one with some trepidation.
I have the horse 3rd in here. This horse can win. I just kind of feel like, though, I don't know how you feel, but like when you see Bill Mott horses get bet and get bet hard first time out, they're supposed to win, right? And
I agree with you.
She just didn't. And that race, too, when you look back at that race, too, it had that feel like, it was ripe kind of like for a first-time starter to win that race, and then City Blocks won the race. And
City Blocks ran that day for Eddie Barker. It's not run at all, but others have run out of it. 5th horse improved 16 points. Peony went a 63, then went 59, but then a 66.
Yeah, I don't know. Listen, the horse can win. There's a lot of different ways to go in here, and I kind of went off the reservation a little bit, but I just wonder if this horse was cranked first time, was supposed to win. Now there's the gap. They come back. I mean, obviously, probably this horse is going to show speed again. I don't know. I'm a little gun shy, but I have the horse 3rd in here.
No, I'm not. I don't have some. Aunt Yola Well, showing Yola's last race, I really liked her two-back. I thought she had no excuse not to win. Now, the horse who beat her came back and ran a very respectable race and finishing second. I felt like she should have won this race.
Yeah.
And that's why I've just kind of had enough of her. I don't think she's bad. I certainly think she can win this race, but she's had her chances. I put her third. I don't know anything about the first-time starters in here. I'm not going to bother Chad Brown and ask him about the good magic in this race. I thought the other day was fishing. I really didn't need me to ask him while he's fishing about a New York bred first-time starter. Not that I would have asked anyway.
Yeah, I agree with you with Aunt Yola.
What are you doing with Foxy Francis on top? Is there a story? Do you have a story on this horse?
No, I don't. And it's a little hard to take a mare that's 5 years old making a first-time starter.
Well, apparently not that hard for you.
No.
A little hard for me.
Yeah.
Mere mortals.
Hard for you, easy for me.
More mere mortals don't pick five-year-old first-time starters in these races. And I know she has that one work showing, but...
Yeah, there's a couple of works that I thought were okay. I know it's the first foal from a dam. It's more rowdy on dirt when you look at the whole thing. But obviously, Go Charlie showed some sprint speed. And when I started going over this race and looking at it, I mean, I just the 4, the 7, and the 1 were the 3 first-time starters that I wanted to gravitate.
Okay. You've got 2 horses that have run credibly. They're not killers, but they've run credibly. You've got 2 good magic firsters. One's for Chad Brown, and I know he's after chasing Jim, who's not that good, but they paid $200,000. Well, they paid $200,000 for this horse. You've got an Empire Magic of Danny Gargan horse. The sire was the dam was good. Yeah. Only one of her foals was very good, but they paid $370,000 good magics. And you're going to the Cinco Charlie from Finger Lakes, 5-year-old, over these 2 first-time starters.
I have them up there. I could use every bit of what's on the board there. I have them up there.
No, but you have the 4 on top.
I have the 4 on top, but for sure, I'll be using the 1, 5, and 7. I'm not going to use Aunt Yola. If Aunt Yola wins, Aunt Yola, I get beat today.
Okay. I think these horses are folly. I think that they have a little bit of sexiness to try to be a wise guy with them, but this is a 5-year-old first-time starter with some pedigrees and serious barns in here, so we're going to agree to disagree. Frankly, I would take the Ray Handel first-time starter over this one. I know it's a homebred and the foals haven't run, but the dam wasn't that bad. But I mean, even the outside horse, I don't know. I mean, it's more turfy, but.
Well, the dam won a couple of sprint races.
Right. Yeah. I mean, so I'm going to go with Geopolitics and Empire Magic as my main 2 here, and I'd use the 1 and 3 as backups. You're going off the reservation with Foxy Francis. Good luck.
Thank you.
Is this one where the jock's coming in to ride?
Yeah, Christian Navarro.
Okay. It doesn't even show him having a mount this year.
So he'll be here to ride. He's in shape. He's ready to go.
Really?
Sure.
I don't remember him. Do you want to enlighten us about him?
He's ridden here before in the winter. I think he's been down here at times.
How'd he do?
That I don't remember off the top of my head. Finger Lakes,
That's not a good sign.
He's off.
But he's not even riding at Finger Lakes this year.
They just got started.
It's not big enough for him and Stabile.
They just
They started. They run for 4 weeks.
Couple of weeks, 3 weeks.
Guy's been up there for our man Stabile's been there for like 3 or 4 weeks. I think 4 weeks.
He had to get started up there. He had to get settled. He had to get the announcer's booth ready, get everything going. He's doing a great job.
I am rooting for Anthony to do great up there.
He's
absolutely.
Doing great up there.
All right, we'll see what happens. Race number 6. At least now we have some little bit of fun with that one and see if Paul is smart in there. I think he's nuts, but then again.
Well, nobody ever
being
said
nuts
that.
at the racetrack is not necessarily a bad thing.
Yeah.
Race number 7. We will start with the entire replay of Be of Courage, your top pick. And I got to tell you something. I was going to show the race. The horse was taken down, and they put up, sell something.
Yeah.
This horse ran unbelievably, the number 4. Has already gotten squeezed out, right? It's been totally squeezed back in this race.
Yeah.
And I want to say is last. No, he's not last.
He's on the rail in the red.
He's on the rail in red. He's already had some trouble here. I mean, it's like one of these trips just keeps getting worse and worse, and it's amazing how well this horse runs because Javier's, first of all, the horse that he runs down is on the lead. By the way, I went to bet an exacta box with him and the horse that ran second, and I got shut out. I didn't realize the race was going off so soon. I was getting back to my apartment. Okay, you see him back in the red. Javier just decides, I'm going to make this huge mid-move wide. I thought this horse ran great, Paul.
Oh, huge, and especially when considered the trip and had to run earlier, and it looked like Chen Min-ten was just going to hold this horse off too.
Here it comes.
Yeah, here, and you watch just this sustained run that Javier put in with this horse. Like, well, I'm just going, yeah, and I'm just taking no prisoners, and I'm going from here. And just the fact that this horse had to start the run early and was able to sustain it.
This is the Joe Bravo move.
Yeah. Yes.
Javier, did you have to pay? Javier had probably to pay something to Joe for stealing his move.
This worked.
This move
though.
doesn't win.
I was gonna say this move worked.
This move does not win in two-turn turf races.
No, but
this horse was much the best.
Yes, and also was wide in the turn, and Chen Min-ten looked like he was going to hold him off.
Now, this was some performance.
Didn't do it. So this was a good performance from a good horse. And
this horse not being favored here was one of the craziest things ever.
Yes,
and we said on Talking Horses, I remember, because David had it right, and I remember saying on Talking Horses that day, this horse should absolutely be an overwhelming favorite.
Yeah, no, ran an exceptional race, and I'm going and likes to be covered up, make that run. I'm going with this horse again today.
I have nothing against him.
Yeah.
And he was much the best when he beat Sell Something, and Sell Something got put up. He got a great ride that day, Sell Something from my
Yeah.
I didn't think it was a terrible DQ. It hurt me in the race. It ended up because I like Sell Something because I had a big exacta with him second, but I ended up making good money in the pick 3, so it actually did help me. It was one of the few DQs that helped me. I could see it. I didn't think it was a great call because clearly, Be of Courage was best that day.
Yeah.
I didn't think that justice was done with the DQ, but I get it. I just didn't totally agree. You've got Born Dancer second. I'm not a big fan, but go ahead.
I probably should have, in retrospect, swapped the 3 and the 2 with their spots, to be honest with you, because for me, realizing it now too, I think the 3 ran a much better race considering when they all met when a bunch of them met on November 10th was on that pace.
We'll show that race.
Yeah.
I thought it's all coming together.
Yeah.
Ran great this day.
No, I agree with you. I should have, in retrospect, I should have switched that out because to me, he was the only one from a pace perspective that stuck around late in that race.
Running with Scissors is a horse that's pretty good and had a nice win here the other day.
So for me, I mean, looking at the race again, Running with Scissors ran exceptionally well that day, and so did this horse, actually.
The fact that he finishes second in here, he's dead beaten. There's a good chance he's 4th in the Super right now. And he comes back on to get it done. I thought he ran extremely well. The other speed, I think, got nothing in there. I thought he ran really well. Now, he does have to deal with Bar 14, who has a lot of speed. Yeah. So maybe he lets that one go. I don't know how it works out, and Gomez is supposed to try to go and see what Bar 14 does. But I'm impressed by this horse. He was in against just a ridiculous field going 5 furlongs last time. And it's funny because the pedigree is kind of a little more sprinty maybe in some ways. This horse seems to be better going long. Yeah. And I know he got lucky to beat Ramblin' Wreck. He was able to set a slower pace that day. But he still, he didn't run that badly in his next start. I like this horse. I think he's pretty good. And I have no argument against the 8. And I don't know about this morning line. I'm not so sure this horse is going to be favored in here. I'm hoping the 8 is favored in here. And we'll see. I didn't realize Dave was going to make this horse the favorite. I preferred him.
Yeah, no, I think the 8's probably going to end up. David's right basically 100% of the time. So it's,
he won't be right this weekend because Craig Mulkowski's doing the line this weekend.
Yeah.
And I promised Craig I wouldn't abuse him too much.
Yeah, you got to be nice.
I abused him on one. Well, if you're not familiar with Craig Mulkowski is the official timekeeper of horse racing.
Yeah.
There's only one person that doesn't think that Craig is the qualified to time the races, unfortunately. But, the Jockey Club, Equibates, they understand. Craig Mulkowski knows how to time the races off of video and has helped out racetracks all over the country with mistimed races and does it all the time.
Yeah.
And is also a wonderful person and makes the time from U.S. figures as well. But Craig will be filling in doing the line. I'm still going to abuse him. He's a little sensitive because OKC got eliminated.
Oh, all right.
It's a season ticket holder.
Just try and rein it in a little bit. We'll choke the reins in.
A lot of important people in racing involved with the Oklahoma City Thunder as well. Yeah. All right, we'll see what happens on the turf in race number 7, race number 8. How are we doing for time, Paul? Oh, we got nothing. We got nothing but time.
We got plenty of time.
Nothing but time. Race number 8. So we'll start with, I guess, the horse to beat in Echo and Eternity, finishing second last time. My problem is, are you really supposed to lose to Levon?
That horse ran a good buyer figure in the race before that for Mary Alice Coffey. Mary Alice is having a good year, so can't knock what she's doing. I just think that the race that this horse comes out of, that changed when Smoky Eyes kind of stumbled badly and then kind of made that run and folded up. So for me, I mean, this horse is going to be forward from an inside draw. I mean, this horse can run well in here. I just thought there was some better options.
Well, I didn't have a lot of better options. I had one better option. I've got her second. I didn't want anybody else really in this race besides the ones I picked on top. Not a big fan of Foxy Cara trying to get the mile in a race without much pace. This is it for Chasing Daylight. Yeah. We'll take a look at the win, or the win back on December 30th, and she runs that race, she's going to win. I don't feel she ran that badly 3 back. I don't know what the plan was last time. No. Well, I mean, 2 back, Jose Gomez sent this horse into an... Now, that was the day that speed had been dominated. Dominant. Went after Spiteful Lady, that very good maiden breaker Vermont, got that horse beaten, but fell apart because of it. I don't know what Jose was thinking sending into the pace last time out. Seemed like the perfect spot to rate the horse. The horse has been successful rating before, and Jose got involved in a wacky pace. Now she's the clear speed. Today you got to go.
Yeah, and much more suited to the mile and should be in front here. Now you have to go. And last time out,
she has to be in front.
Yeah, and I mean, last time out too.
If you sent her last time and you rate her today,
it's ridiculous.
You're just clueless.
Yeah,
she may lose today, but she's got to be in front.
No, she's got to be in front.
Without getting left, she's just so much faster than this horse.
If you lose when going in front.
Right.
I mean, and last time out, I mean, the horses, and again, getting mixed up in that ridiculous pace or not. I mean, Athena Beach and Newsley have run winning races lately. They've been in good form and running well.
They knew Newsley wasn't winning the other day, though. They knew.
Yeah, they knew. Yeah. So, I mean, it's just, today it's just one job. Just send her, go, and see what happens, because you are faster than these. The mile's much more suited, for her from a distance standpoint. And, I mean, I guess the only question, if anybody could have a question with her, it's just, can she run well at the level? But she's had excuses at the level, getting hooked up in those paces.
She's a little bit. Yeah. She's a little suspect.
Yeah.
And I could use the 3 as well.
Yeah.
And Fox Cara's been in good form, but I'm not sure the mile is really the best distance for her. And she's also 1 for 16.
Yeah.
And Duck Fat's 1 for 28. And don't you think Duck Fat's a better horse in a wet track?
I do, and I just, for me, I know I have the 2 and 3 in there. I just really like Chasing Daylight today because I just thought Chasing Daylight was going to wire. And for me, it was just, horses underneath, and Duck Fat likes that 2nd or 3rd spot for me.
I hear you.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll see what happens in race number 8. Race number 9. I'm going to start out race number 9, a horse that I don't even know if any of us really have in our picks. No, we don't, and that's the number 8, Solo Shot. Because if Solo Shot runs her last race, isn't she going to be very tough in here? Aren't the Carries and Lady Mia's in the world as good, if not better, than these?
Yes, and if you base it on the last race, absolutely. And the one thing is going to happen. This horse is going to bring the speed, and Sammy Camacho is going to put this horse on the front end. Whether or not this horse gets pressed or not, it's a different story. And Lady Mia got that nice inside run, too, from Erod in there. But this was a much improved effort for a barn that does well in situations like this with horses with speed. So outrun their odds for sure.
Yeah, I feel like, you missed the chance at a big price, and she ran really well. But it was her only turf race. I'm trying to beat her as well, and I think she's part of the pace, but I don't want to completely ignore her in here. Yeah. And, another horse that I think is dangerous, finding her number, that I have second, you have nowhere. You have no Spooky Ladies in here. I thought she ran very well in this race. I mean, this race that she's in last time completely fell apart, and this horse has run very well sprinting before. You don't think she's dangerous cutting back to a sprint?
She was my 5th pick in here, and I thought this race was a good race from her. I was just looking for horses with prices in this race. I thought she was going to be a little bit of a shorter price in here. But on the cutback, she's dangerous in here based on the last race she won. And against the competition that she ran against, too, I think those were a little bit better horses.
Well, I think they were considerably better horses. I thought she was super dangerous in here, and you have the number 10, Autumn Glory, on top. What am I missing?
This is a horse who's certainly going to have to get faster, and I know she's run by appointment only, but her 2 sprint races, the race that she lost by a neck way back when in May of 22, I mean, the horse Finest Works, a 5-time winner that's Bayard in the 80s and 90s for the most part for George Weaver. And then the race that she won in October here, I know that race came apart, but she did close into that pace that day. And she's going to have to get faster in here.
Well, so did Lina Wright.
No, I know. And she's gonna have to get faster, but I think she'll have some pace to run into in here. She's going to be probably
no disrespect to Pat Quick, who I like and is a good trainer. And taking this horse from Christophe Dumont.
I know, and that's another That's another piece to
this horse is going to be a gigantic price, so I wish
she's
her
run
luck.
well sprinting off of layoffs before, but she's going to have to be a little bit faster. But I just thought there would be a little bit of pace for her to tuck in somewhere and Javier to make a run with her. Whether or not she's good enough, we'll see. Because this is a tough group. This is a nice
tuck in
last
from
race.
post 10.
Yeah.
That's you got to tuck in. That,
Well,
without a
2 or
tuck
3
in,
wide. 2 or 3 wide. No, I'm not talking about rail, but maybe we can get like a 2 wide or 3 wide trip. But I just think there's a lot of good ways to go. This is a really good race.
Okay, I didn't see her. She's a big price. There's nothing gained
Even
by
the
knocking
4,
her.
too. I like the 4 too.
What about Moonage Daydream?
That horse from the outside too. It shows a little bit of speed as well. Those 2 sprints
I'm
are
going to
okay.
go back and look at her race 2 back. I thought she ran pretty well in there. Now, I don't like the fact that she's piling up losses at short prices, but TT's got some good numbers. 250 plus laughs in the turf. He's 5 for 16. So he's got some success doing that. I didn't think she was impossible in here. I didn't put her on top. I have different ideas. You and I saw this race very, very differently.
Yeah.
I even have Dream Central in there who ran, because this trainer change from Siaka to Rachel Sells worked in a turf sprint last year at a big price, and maybe somebody in here actually lost that horse. And this horse has some back races that are okay. I thought this horse is a little sneaky at a price, and I'm using logicals in here. But I like the number 9 Snowy Evening because I thought there was a real chance they'd be moving up front in this race. And is she a better horse going longer? Yeah, but she didn't run that badly sprinting earlier in her career. I worry a little about the distance. That's a bit of a concern for me. But I think she's as talented pretty much as anybody here, and I thought they'd be moving. So I was sort of nines with 5 and 6. I figured I'd pick my friend Steve Chris' horse because I never pick him.
Yeah, no, and picks up Jose Lascano too for this race as well. Johnny's not on.
Johnny's
Jose
not
Lascano.
riding. I'm always happy with Jose Lascano.
Yeah,
Johnny
Jose-
not riding today?
No, he scratched out of the race in the first, and in the 4th race, it was. Do have the rider change?
I'm okay with Jose riding this horse.
Yeah,
but thank
so,
you for that. Gives me a chance.
Oh, there was no change yet for Wake Up Lauren. Race 4, is that right at the bottom? Race 4, Frankie Dettori? That's what it says at the bottom of the screen for Wake Up Lauren.
Okay.
I wonder if that's true or not. I guess we'll find out. But anyway, back to Snowy Evening. Snowy Evening for me, cut back. I have the horse 3rd in here. Pace to run at.
Well,
And 6
Frankie
furlongs-
Dettori has the same agent as Johnny, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So maybe he is here today. But cutting back in distance, 6 furlongs might be a little bit short, but there'll be pace for this horse to run at, I think, in here.
I thought this was a really, really
Yeah, this
fun
is
race in here. I
competitive.
don't think Ms. Big Bucks is impossible. We'll see what happens. Even Solib is not totally ridiculous.
I have Solib 4th. If Solib can run back to a couple of those 7 furlong sprints and coming from off the
What
pace.
about Concerti? Do you like?
It's funny. One of the Sibs is a winner on turf, and there's some pedigree
So
there.
a 62 buyer.
It's okay, I know, but there's a little bit of pedigree there too, Mendelssohn, and
She
the
gotta
horse was
improve
ready
a
to roll.
lot.
What?
She's got to improve a lot. To be
Yeah, the
competitive
horse
here.
was ready to roll last time out, and Dylan just let this horse roll in the front end, so it may add to a little bit of the pace in here.
Oh,
with the
she's
blinkers
got
on, maybe,
speed,
last
I agree.
time out, and I wonder too. I know that they wanted to run. I mean, I guess they really want to get this horse on the grass too, because I mean, it might be one of those cases of don't fix what's not broken. But you had the horse running on dirt.
Well, she
okay.
paid 13.60
Yeah.
and should have paid four and change
Right.
or 5 last time. They were betting horses that had absolutely no chance in the race down to like 6 to 5.
Yeah.
That was a great miss. The horse that should have been one, the first 2 choices ran 1-2. I think exactly like $80 or something insane. Paul, it was a pleasure.
Yes, always.
You've had so much fun. You need to head over to Naira Bets, and it'll get even more fun for you once you've headed over there. We have a special promo through Belmont Stakes Weekend. Belmont 25, free $25 Belmont bet, plus a $200 sign-up bonus. We have track stats. Check them out at Naira Bets as well. We have a $10 bonus, bet 50 at Belmont at the Big A today, and check out on the website some select evening races. We have middle pick 4, race 2, 3, and 6 for the pick 4s today. We have the Saturday contest. You have until the 3rd race tomorrow to sign up. Head over to nairabets.com/contest to play. And there could be a feeder. Check that out. Get over there if you're interested. Maybe there's a feeder today. We shall have to the 3rd race today to sign up as well. $40, a chance to get into the contest to qualify. And we are on from 1 to 5:30 on FS2, covering all the action today. Thanks again, Paul. Chris Griffin, big day ahead for him. He's up next, the reprise, Scratches and Changes. Good luck.
For almost 150 years, the Saratoga name has been synonymous with the finest quality, sustainably sourced spring water available anywhere. Saratoga carries on the rich tradition of its forefathers by crafting each stunning blue glass bottle with the same attention to detail and care that has been its hallmark for generations. Visit SaratogaSpringwater.com today or ask for us by name at your local market or restaurant. Saratoga Spring Water. Make every day exquisite.